Hi, welcome to Growing Dreams Homestead. I am Dana and I'm down in my greenhouse. Today is Tuesday, May 16th, and it's been pretty overcast and rainy today. It didn't get super warm. Tomorrow it's actually supposed to get down to 42 at night, so I have brought all of my tomatoes and peppers down here to the greenhouse. I was going to plant them out, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. 42 isn't really cold, but it's cold enough to stunt their growth, and I'd like them to make some fruit quicker rather than later. So they're going to be in here until this little cold night passes. I'll check the 10-day forecast, and if it's warm, I'll probably start planting some out this weekend. So there is a lot growing in the greenhouse right now, and there are a bunch of volunteer tomatoes coming up. And I had thought about leaving them because I am a sucker for volunteers. Like, if they want to grow, I try to let them, but I remembered how crazy it was in here last year with my tomatoes. They went all the way up to the 8-foot ceiling and then bent over and came back down, and there were tomatoes everywhere. I couldn't walk on the side of my greenhouse. So I am gonna get these up and get them in some little pots so I can put them out in the garden. And they look really good, actually. They're actually bigger than some of my stuff I started weeks and weeks ago. So that's the cool thing about volunteers. They're usually really strong, and they've adapted. they're super cool. So I will show you those, and then I'm going to get them pulled up. Not all of them, because there are a lot, but some of the bigger ones. And then I am going to plant the dwarf tomatoes in here, and a few pepper plants. So here are some of my volunteers. That one's a pretty good size. Look at this guy. It's a good size. And there are some more. Like, look at all these coming up everywhere. So I can't keep all of them, but I'm going to keep a couple of the bigger ones. Okay, so I got my tomatoes dug up and put in a pot, and I'm only keeping a few of them, like all those little babies. It was hard, but I pulled them. And I have tons of tomatoes, as you can see up here behind me, in all these cups. So I did pull out these dwarf tomatoes, which means they will stay small, which will be good for the greenhouse. Because yeah, last year was crazy. So I'm gonna get these planted. Can you see me? Hi. Okay, so I got my tomatoes planted. So I'm going to plant a few peppers on the side of the greenhouse. I will have a lot in the garden, but this way my season will continue well after the frost takes stuff in the garden, and I'll be able to have fresh peppers and tomatoes longer into the fall. So I'm going to plant some of these sweet red peppers. I think they're called Lacia. I think that's how you say it. They're really good. They're like a heart-shaped pepper, and we like them. They have real thick walls. They're really sweet, and they grow well. So I'm going to plant 2 of those in here. And peppers like to be fairly close to each other. They like to hold hands. That's what I've been told. So we plant our peppers fairly close to each other. So we put 2 of these, and then I'm going to plant 1 coral bell pepper. See, I have several of these coral bells in this one pot, and I'm going to pot these up into separate pots, but I'm planting one over here, and I may put 2 more over by where I put the tomatoes. So I'm just going to tease one out with his roots and put it right here with these guys. I'm really sad. I planted a ton of my purple bell pepper seeds that I grew last year because they did so well. They were so prolific. They went all summer long. They were my first to put on fruit and my last to stop putting on fruit. And none of my seeds from this came up, and I planted a lot. So that was sad. But anyway, 3 peppers here in this end of the greenhouse. Yay. So here's how the greenhouse is currently looking. So there's broccoli, there's lettuce. There was a bunch of other lettuce in here, but it was pretty bitter, and I gave it to the pigs and they liked it. So more broccoli, carrots, broccoli. My spinach is going to seed. I pulled a lot of good leaves off of that. Super yummy. Cabbage, starting to get heads on it. Some onions, cilantro. That's where we planted the peppers. Some more onions and garlic. There's another patch of cilantro, another pepper, and then the 4 dwarf tomatoes, and then my sage. So it's my little holding area. There's some tomatoes I'm going to take to someone, my roses, snapdragons. Okay, and then up here we have all of the tomatoes and peppers, and then I think these are stock. They're from one of my friends. I gotta get them in the flower garden, but everything should be good in here, even with it getting down to 42. And I have this little surprise. So there are some onions coming up too. They must have been left in this dirt, but if you can see, there's some other seedlings coming up. And last summer I grew these really cool looking sunflowers that were a cross between like a teddy bear and a midnight sun. I'll have to put a picture. But I saved seeds to see if they would germinate, and it looks like they are, which is so exciting. I will probably put these inside the vegetable garden to keep them safe, because I don't want deers coming along and eating them. And I'm so excited to see if they stay true to what they were last year. Alright y'all, so that's a look at the greenhouse. Did some planting in here tonight, and I'll be planting more stuff in the garden this weekend. So super excited. I gotta get inside, start the bedtime routine with Kane. It's about 8:30. The sun's getting lower in the sky, but before I do, I want to stop by the pollinator strip and show you something. Check out how big my comfrey is, guys. Like, it's big. And it's so pretty. If you don't have comfrey, you should. It's a great medicinal plant. It's also great for compost-tea in your garden and the pollinators. So it grows in my pollinator strip next to my garden, and I'm so excited to see how big it is this year. Alright y'all, so that is a wrap for this evening. I hope you enjoyed hanging out in the greenhouse with me. It's always nice to be in there and get some stuff done when it's too wet or not as, not great conditions to be in the garden. So I'm so thankful for my greenhouse. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All my irises are blooming. Oh, so happy. Hope y'all have a good one. See you soon. Bye.